be happy to have more conversation or discussion later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Feel free to ask. Okay, so we'll move on. So Jennifer talked about children, and mostly, as we all think, that children are best taken care of by mothers. But mothers or women are, in this society, they're often perceived to be more vulnerable than men. Do you know there's the statistics, actually the statistic I would like to share with you later on is US statistics. So 91%, well, females account for 91% of victims of rape and sexual assault in US, and the remaining 9% are male. But if the future is to bring equitable progress for all, so I mean, if we want to bring equitable progress for all, we should definitely, especially empower women in particular, to help them stand up against all forms of sexual assault and abuse of power. So Anthony will share with us. He's the supervisor of International Affairs of Garden of Hope Foundation, and he will share their experience in Taiwan's Me Too movement. They have made enormous changes in gender justice in Taiwan in the past 3 decades by raising awareness of sexual assault and abuse of power, and by helping victims recover from sexual violence. So let's welcome Anthony.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have some slides. I'll just go through it very quickly so we have more time for discussion. It's nice that we have a small group. My name's Anthony Carlisle. I'm not Taiwanese, not a woman, but I've been working for this Garden of Hope for 7 years now. I'm living in Taiwan do I need to use this?
Yes.
I do, okay. So I've been living in Taiwan for 28 years. So almost as old as the Garden of Hope. Garden of Hope is 31 years old. So we're part of the generation of NGOs who grew up with the lifting of martial law, development of democracy. We do a lot of service work. We have 20 shelters all over Taiwan for survivors of domestic violence and sexual abuse, women and girls. And we also have Garden of Hope in New York, which provides similar services for the Chinese community in Flushing. And we do a lot of other international work and advocacy work too on gender equality, especially in the Asia region. So that includes being part of the Asian network of women's shelters. We partner with other shelter organizations in Mongolia and Japan and South Asia and Southeast Asia. And we also run an Asian Girls campaign, so it's a campaign for the rights of the girl child in Asia. And we're organizing a conference on shelters and ending violence against women in Taiwan at the beginning of November. So you're very welcome to take part in that. And if you're interested, there will be a special discount for people just during the InterAction week. So we have the InterAction discount, the secret passcode, so you can get the discount. So I'll go quickly through the slides. So this is, I'll talk about 3 things. I'll be focusing not on our international work, but locally in Taiwan, especially with how we promote the Me Too movement. Now, unlike the US and other countries, the Me Too movement didn't take off in Taiwan the way we would have hoped. So we're looking at the reasons why that happened, and then how we tried to, inspired by the Me Too movement in the US, how we tried to use problems and issues, cases that came up in the media, and use those to campaign, raise awareness, and encourage people to come forward. And then I'll talk about the results of that campaign. So the first case was a tragic case of a brilliant young author called Li Hai. It's a picture of her here. And she published her first book in 2017, and in February it caused a stir in society because it was so good, and also because it was the subject matter was about a young girl who was raped by a cram school teacher, and it was fairly obvious that she was telling her own story. And unfortunately, like the book, her life tragically ended in April of the same year when she committed suicide. And her father came out and said, well, the book was actually her own story. And then another case in the same year was a case in March of a young girl who said, inspired by the case of Ali Raisman and her abuser Larry Nassar in the US, she came out and said that her gym coach was also abusing her for 10 years when she was in junior high school. So the case was all over the media and caused a big stir. And although the headline says it sparked the Me Too movement, actually it didn't do that. The third one was the case of a famous director who had been abusing one of his people on his staff, and he said that they were dating. But obviously the problem was an issue of using his power as a supervisor to have an inappropriate sexual relationship with her. So despite these cases coming to the public sphere and people getting very angry about them, attitudes about relationships between men and women in Taiwan, how man is supposed to be the aggressor, women are supposed to be passive, and power relationships are not getting mixed up with sexual relationships, and relationships with teachers and students still remain. And often there's a lot of victim blaming. So the victim will get blamed for a student will get blamed for having a relationship with a teacher and not the teacher. Sometimes the victims are sued by the perpetrator's family. So we decided we wanted to do something about this. So in last year, in 2018, we launched our own Me Too campaign to try and drum up public support and to raise awareness. And we started it in March with a press conference. My CEO, who's in the center, she's third from the left. She is from a journalist background, so her solution to every problem is call a press conference. So that's what we did. We called a press conference and got some exposure in the media, and it did encourage people. We had a lot more phone calls saying that I've been abused, but we didn't launch a wave of protest. So we launched another press conference in April, and we linked this to our 30th anniversary. Last year was our 30th anniversary. And finally, on April the 21st last year, we organized a big march, and over 2,000 people attended this event, so it was very successful. And that's my CEO in the middle, and we wore masks to represent the hidden faces of victims who weren't able to come out because of cultural stereotypes and barriers to coming out as a victim. But at the end of the march, people threw off their masks as a sign of freedom. As well as that, we organised some other outreach campaigns. We're part of the V-Day movement, Events campaign, 1 Billion Rising. We performed the vagina monologues in Taiwan for many years. And for the last 4 years, we've been performing our own version of the vagina monologues, which we call Shidi. And these are stories by Taiwanese women and Taiwanese girls, told in Chinese, of course, and Taiwanese sometimes. This is a protest press conference we held in one particular case in Taiwan of a girl who was in one of our shelters. Her abuser was sentenced to 28 years in jail by the first judge, but when the case went to the appeal court, the appeal judge pronounced the perpetrator not guilty. So 28 years to not guilty. So we held a press conference to process that ruling. So these are some of our demands. In Taiwan, Criminal Code 228 specifically states that inappropriate sexual relationships, people using power relationships to have sex, to force someone into sex, is illegal and should be sentenced to 6 to 5 years. But in reality, very few cases are brought forward to the courts, and there are only 8 cases in the last 4 years, from 2015 to 2018. And the sentencing is also very low as well. The minimum sentence of 6 months is given even when they're guilty. So we continue to push the Taiwanese government to make sure that people are aware that this Article 228 is in the criminal code and can be used, and also improve the structures to protect victims and achieve justice. So I'm going to show you some pictures. I'll ask you not to take photos of these ones because the women who painted these are still under our care, they're still in our shelter. The first one is a little bit upsetting, so if you're trigger warning, if you're upset by that, turn your eyes away. And this was painted by a survivor who called Miss X. It shows themes of death, sorrow, and loss after her abuse. And she has some quotations which I'll share with you here. Yeah, this is shares the theme is blame, pain, anger, and sorrow about her own death. The second one is there it is. The second one is a happier one. This is an oil painting by Miss S. When she says, when I turned 16, I stopped smiling. When she started her therapy to the Garden of Hope, she learned oil painting. And she says, if the painting gets messed up, it doesn't matter. I can always start over again. So this is the only painting she named, and it's called Rebirth. And she says, it's very beautiful inside, although it's dark around the outside. If you look at the flowers' pistils, they're bright yellow, so you can see light in it. I'm still on the road to recovery. It's a long road, but a lot of people have walked it before. And the last picture is by Miss Z, and she says, the first quarter of my life was smashed on that day. I want my life back. But she used this sketch to tell her story. So we continue to campaign to end sexual violence. We continue to work on the problem, especially of power relationships and rape. And we hope that through our efforts, we've raised awareness of this in Taiwan. Over 300,000 people liked us or shared us on social media. And although we still have a lot of things that we need to do, perhaps we can talk about how we can do that together and how we can promote the Me Too movement, especially in Asian countries where it's been slow to take off. And this issue, among many others, will be front and center of the World Conference of Women's Shelters, Kaohsiung, in November. So I warmly welcome you to attend that and take advantage of the special discount on registration rates that we have for that during InterAction Week. And it will have some wonderful speakers. Events will be coming, Mama Alafui, the current UN Special Rapporteur to Violence Against Women, and lots of other great speakers will be there. So it's going to be a wonderful event. Thank you very much.